All right. When we're looking at kinetic energy, this is energy due to motion. And it depends on two things, the object's velocity or speed and its mass. Um, and I think you intuitively sort of know this already, that speed matters more than the mass. Um, Now, obviously, there's difference between how much it's going to sting if a ping pong ball hits you compared to, say, a baseball, given that their masses are different. But if I'm playing catch with you and we play catch with a baseball, the difference between whether it's like, oh yeah, I felt that it hit my hand, and that smack as it hits my hand and then it stings, the difference there isn't that the ball suddenly has a heavier mass, it's moving faster. So to figure out an object's kinetic energy, we take the fraction 1/2, or 0.5, multiplied by mass, multiplied by its velocity, or its speed, squared. Now, the squared only applies to the v. It does not apply to the m or to the 1/2. And so this can make for some fun math when we're punching it into our calculators. But let's take a look at a few quick examples to figure out how we need to go about doing this. So, example number 1, and you're going to have to write these down, and I'm going to be, don't have a nice set of examples built for you, so you're going to have to copy them down, but I'm going to be nice and just give you the variables as we need them. So V equals, oops, slow down there, V equals 2.00 meters per second. M equals 2.00 kilograms. What is the object kinetic energy? So if this is example 1, and I'm obviously picking nice numbers on purpose, but EK, I'm starting with an easy one, is equal to 1/2 times m times v squared. EK then is equal to 1/2 times 2.00 kilograms multiplied by 2.00 meters per second, and that part is squared. So thinking order of operations, I am going to do my exponent first, so 2 squared is going to be 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Times 0.5, or divided by 2, is going to be 4. And my answer here is going to be 4.00 joules. All right, pretty straightforward, I think. Let's move on and look at another one really quickly. Another type of an example. In this case, we're given EK. Now, just so you know, sometimes you're going to see textbooks will say that kinetic energy is KE. Totally fine. I prefer EK as in energy kinetic. In this case, we know that the kinetic energy of whatever the object is 10.0 meters per second. We know that the speed of the object is 10.0 meters per second. And we want to know what is the mass of the object. So here's where the math sometimes gets a little bit woolly. So I start with this. This is the formula I'm given. And I want to get mass by itself. So to get rid of the 1/2, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So put a 2 here and multiply this side by 2. By multiplying that right by 2, I'm just getting rid of the 1/2. I want to get the v squared to the other side, so I'm going to divide both sides by v squared. All right, now I want you to try this in your calculator. Make sure that you are capable of doing this. Now, the first thing we should notice is that I appeared to struggle with my units here. This object cannot have 10 meters per second of kinetic energy. It can, however, have 10 joules of kinetic energy. So I want you to be able to make sure you can do this and get the right answer with these simple numbers in your calculator. So I have 2ek over v squared equals m, which then is going to be equal to 2 multiplied by my 10.0 joules. All of that divided by meters per second squared. All right, so this is going to be 20 divided by 100, or 0.200 kilograms. All right. Again, make sure you can do that in your calculator. All right. Let's take a look at the last one. This is probably the hardest type of question. And in this case here, my kinetic energy is going to be equal to 200 joules. My mass is going to be equal to, settle down there, 10 kilograms. All right, now I am picking nice numbers for these, but you may not always get these nice numbers. So in this case here, I want to get the v squared by itself. So I can really look back to right over here. Say, well, if I want v squared by itself, I'm going to divide by m. So I have 2ek over m is equal to v squared. If I want to get rid of the squared part, I take a square root of both sides. And so v is equal to the square root of 2 ek over m, which is equal to 2 times 200 joules divided by 10 kilograms. And then the whole kit and caboodle gets square rooted. So 2 times 200 is 400 divided by 10. V is equal to 400 divided by 10 is going to be 40. So this is going to be the square root of 40 meters per second. And at this point here, I can punch that into my calculator. Important thing here, though, is you do everything in that fraction first and then take the square root. It makes life just a little bit easier here. All right, and two significant digits. This becomes 6.3 meters per second. My calculator spits out 6.3245553 and so on, but two sig digs here, two sig digs in my answer. All right, those are really the three types of questions you can get. So your job right now is going to be working in your workbook. Check on Google Classroom or on the board to make sure you can do those. The other thing is make sure you can do these questions and get the correct answers using your calculators. I get that you can do some of these in your head. Make sure when you punch these simple numbers into your calculator that you're getting the right answer so that I know and you know that you're using your calculator correctly. Thanks.